Glory to you, O God.
Now the disciples of John brought all these things about Jesus raising the widow's son from the dead to John. And John called two in particular among his disciples. He sent them to the Messiah to ask, "Are you the one who is coming, or shall we wait for another?" When men had come to Jesus, they said, "John the Baptizer has sent us to you to ask, 'Are you the one who is coming, or shall we wait for another?'" At that moment, he, Jesus, healed many people of diseases, illnesses, and evil spirits, and to many blind persons he gave sight. Then Jesus answered them, "Go and take this news to John. What you have seen and heard, those who were blind receive sight, those who were lame walk, those who were diseased in skin are cleansed, those who were deaf hear, those who were dead are raised. Those who are poor have good news proclaimed to them. And blessed is the woman or man who is not scandalized by me." When John's messengers had gone, Jesus began to speak to the crowds about John. "What did you all go out into the wilderness to see? A reed shaken by the wind? What did you go out to see? A person dressed in luxurious robes? Look, those whose clothing is lavish and who live in self-indulgence are in royal palaces. What then did you all go out to see? A prophet? Yes, I tell you, and more than a prophet. This is the one about whom it is written, 'Look, I am sending my messenger ahead of you who will prepare your way before you.' I tell you, among those born of woman, no one is greater than John, yet the least in the reign of God is greater than he." Now, all the people who heard this, including the tax collectors, professed the righteousness of God, being baptized in the baptism of John. But by refusing to be baptized by him, the Pharisees and the legal scholars rejected God's counsel for themselves. To what then will I compare the people of this generation? And what are they like? They are like children in the marketplace, sitting and calling to one another, "We played the flute for you, and you did not dance. We wailed, and you did not weep. For John the Baptizer has come, eating no bread and drinking no wine, and you all say, 'He doesn't either.' The Son of Woman has come, eating and drinking, and you all say, 'Look, a glutton and a drunkard, a friend of tax collectors and sinners.' Yet wisdom is vindicated by all her children." The good news of Jesus.
Praise to you, O Christ.
Please be seated. Are you the one? And we'll keep waiting. That's John's question, and his disciples bring it to Jesus. Are you the one we're waiting for? Are you the one who's going to set everything right? Are you the one who's going to restore everything we have lost? And I imagine for John, it was personal. Jesus was doing a lot of stuff that is associated with the turn to a new era. But there was one thing he left out of the list: freeing prisoners. John was in prison. Was he going to get a liberation miracle? Or was he going to get the same answer that the people of Nazareth got? Don't expect a miracle just because you're an insider. Maybe we wonder too. In an age when the loudest voices who claim to speak for Christianity are saying things that offend our faith, when the voices of unfaith are accusing all of us of homophobic, xenophobic nationalism, talking about getting rid of foreigners, using slurs that deny their humanity, and then taking action to send them back to their home countries. This is Guantanamo. Moving toward denying Palestinians and Ukrainians their national identity. Suggesting that those Christians who serve immigrant and refugee communities are the ones betraying the faith of the prophet. Dismantling programs that work toward saving the planet. do these things in the name of Jesus. Well, if they're not speaking in the name of Jesus, we might wonder about our faith. This is the place where we keep wondering, keep asking questions. And Jesus responds to John's disciples by pointing to his own ministry. Tell John what you've seen and what you've heard. For Jesus, that was restoring the ability to hear and see and walk and think. Honoring the word of good news. And we can look around at what we see in this community and beyond. This is a congregation with both a history and a present of working for healing and restoration. We touch lives here. Just come and see interchange in action. Get engaged with common ground. Sit with us for a fellowship night. And join us sing along in Lutheran manner. And no matter how loud the voices trying to hijack Christianity might be, we are not alone. After John's disciples had left, Jesus turned to the people around him and asked why they want to be wilderness when they heard about John. What did you come out to see? You're not going to get a flimsy read. You're not going to get a fancy dresser. You got a prophet. Get witnessing. People have all kinds of reasons for showing up. Maybe they went out to see John because he was a curiosity. But they encountered a prophet. And Jesus says, more than a prophet. People have all kinds of reasons for showing up in places where gospel can happen. You might show up out of curiosity or boredom or habit. And you might get a glimpse of life abundant, spilling over onto people who have forgotten about hope, who don't remember possibilities. Well, then Jesus turns his attention to his critics. Oh, this generation. Why are they so negative? They're like kids refusing to play along the playground. They play flutes. You didn't dance. We wailed. You didn't weep. The insiders, people with power, put down John for living a very austere life. He must have a demon. And they put down Jesus, who lived into and shared lives and wonders. What a thing. What a drama. I love Jesus, the human Jesus. Jesus who died for this frustration. I'm feeling as though whatever he and John do, they are misfits. And for calling us to be whole misfits, and admitting it gets frustrating. It can feel like we too are kids on the playground, and whether we are trying to play happy games or sad ones, the other kids are playing a game of go to the oddball, getting the will conform to their game. But, Jesus says, wisdom is vindicated by her children. The eyeballs on the playground, they're the ones who are wisdom's children. And who is wisdom? Wisdom is what ties this gospel story to our other readings this morning and to the hymns this morning. Wisdom has a lot of meanings in the Bible. It's most front and center in the book of Proverbs, and especially in the first 9 chapters of the book of Proverbs, including today's reading. Those are an invitation in the name of wisdom, in the persona of wisdom, into a way of life. Wisdom in person might be a personification of a divine attribute. Might kind of be a demigoddess. Might be a clever advertising ploy by which the wisdom teachers entice young men into their academies. She says she's in public places, calling to people, inviting them in, and she's promising them life. If you accept the invitation of wisdom, presumably you enter into an academic process. And if you keep reading beyond chapter 9, if you read the whole book of Proverbs, you'll find out that that process is one of discernment. There are 50 little bits of advice, there are metaphors, there are warnings. They're all designed to help us distinguish what is life-giving and what is death-dealing. Wisdom's children, those who are called and who have accepted the call and chosen the path of life, follow through with this work of discernment. The problem in those first 9 chapters is Lady Wisdom has a counterpart named Folly. Both of them go out into public places. Both of them offer similar invitations to impressionable youngsters. And the danger is that you might get confused. You might accidentally be seduced by folly when you intended to follow wisdom. How do you know whether you're listening to wisdom or folly? How did John and his disciples know whether Jesus is the one they've been waiting for? The embodiment of wisdom in their own age. How do we know that we experience abundance by reaching out to the least and not by exiling them to our common? Wisdom brings light. Look at what light happens. Here we are. I think this is a place where life happens. We might be here because we think it's good for us, spiritually or emotionally or some other way. I suppose sometimes we come here because we enjoy interacting with others of us. Sometimes we come here because the music is so magnetic. Some of us come here because there is something here in this coming together week after week that illuminates us and feeds us and puts some possibility into the lives that we will live the rest of the week. And these days, some of us are here because there is so much in the world around us, in our country and beyond, that distresses us. And we would like to practice living in a different reality. We would like to strengthen each other, to live our integrity, to challenge the forces of intolerance and exclusion and power gain. Keep playing our troops in the marketplaces, even if all the other kids don't play along. We would like to work toward a world in which everyone is honored. Just this, I sometimes say, just the awareness that every person is a human being. Everyone created in the image of God. We come here, not, I think, to learn that, but to be reminded and to remind one another. And our gathering in community feeds us and strengthens us to walk that path, to keep asking our questions, to keep discerning life from death, possibility from closed down, to keep living toward the reality that God calls us to live in.